Hi and welcome to Kirschner Cakes. Today we are going to make a moist, buttery, traditional pound cake. So for that, first of all, what you have to do first, you put your oven to 325 Fahrenheit and you just let it warm up. And then what you have to remember is that you grease your pound cake mold. It's important that it has enough. That way, when you try to get out your cake, you can release it easily. So first step, you want to get your measuring cup. You get your flour. It can be any kind of flour. It doesn't have to be specific cake flour. I like to keep my ingredients pretty affordable. So first thing you're gonna do, you add to your first cup of flour. You add half a teaspoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of salt. The salt is going to help the cake become really crumbly. It's really important that you don't skip the salt, even if it sounds strange. So you put the first cup of flour into kind of like a medium-sized bowl. The next step, you're gonna need just, more than 1 cup of flour. We're gonna need 3 in total. So I'm gonna keep working on my flour. I'm gonna be spooning out of this container. Sometimes it can get a little messy here. And you wanna make sure that you don't put too much flour, because sometimes flour is not an even an even ingredient. Like when you measure it, you want to make sure that it's just right underneath that 1 cup line, not above it. Because if your cake has too much flour, it actually tastes like flour, and you don't want your cake to taste like flour. So next one. Actually put their flour into a strainer beforehand, but I just like to keep it pretty easy and fast and simple. Not too many steps, not too many ingredients, so that way this can be a cake for anyone to make. Because as a mom, you never have time to do anything. You want to make it fast. So here we have our 3 cups of flour. So we're going to just leave it there, mix it up just a tiny bit. Our dry ingredients for now. And then the next step, this one is like the most important step. You get 3 sticks of butter. Right now, as you can see, I only have like 2.5 sticks. I didn't have any more butter right now. You want to make sure that you get unsalted butter. And like I said, I didn't have enough butter, but it's okay. The cake is going to come out just as fine. But usually I like to use 3 sticks. So now what you have to do, connect your mixer. You're gonna mix your butter. Also, just so you know, I left my butter outside the fridge overnight. So that way it's room temperature, really nice and soft when it comes to blending it, because it's a lot easier than having to blend hard and cold butter. It will also help your cake taste a lot better. So we're just going to mix this a tiny bit, not too much. Turn it up, and then now comes the important step. We're going to grab some regular sugar, and we're going to need 3 cups of the sugar. Here. Sometimes with the containers it takes a little bit longer. The sugar, it's kind of like however sweet you like it. So some people also just put 2 cups of sugar, some 2.5, some 3 cups. I'm gonna do the way how it should be done right now. 3 cups of sugar. As you can see, 1 cup. You're gonna add 1, sugar. Okay, not yet. Sometimes if it's just a little bit above the line, it's totally fine. Like I said, it really, with the sugar, you don't have to be as precise. 2 cups in our last cup. That's number 3. So now, when it comes to mixing the butter and the sugar, and it's very important that you mix it for at least about like 3 minutes. It has to be mixed very well so the cake can be smooth. It's good also to mix it on a higher level. Eggs in total. Also important that you let your eggs sit outside for a little bit before you start making your cake. It's very important that the eggs are not cold. They have to be at room temperature. It just helps the ingredients to be able to mix with each other a lot better than if they were cold. So what we can do right now, you can either go 1 by 1 or you can do 2 and 2 and 1 since we need 5 in total. So what I'm going to do, save us a little bit of time, I'm going to do 2 and 2 first. So after you put 2 eggs in here, you want to mix it. It's very important not to over mix. About good. Now we're gonna do 2 more. 1, 2. Mix it. Now we're gonna do our last egg. At the end, what we're going to do now, we're going to measure about 3/4 of a cup of milk. Preferable whole milk. I don't have whole milk right now, but a 2% milk or 1% milk would work just as fine. But if you want it to be just a little bit more heavier, just smoother taste, more traditional, a whole milk would be perfect. So as you can see, trying to measure 3/4 of a cup. This is about 3/4. And what do we do now? What I like to do to also save me a little time, your cake needs a little bit of flavor. So my preference is the vanilla sugar from Dr. Edgar. And this I ordered through Amazon and it comes directly from Germany. And it it smells so good. It's the best. It smells delicious. It is very, it's all natural, and it gives it a really nice taste to the cake. So I'm gonna add this to my milk, and then also I'm gonna add some orange extract. Also, as you can see, from the same brand as the vanilla sugar. It comes from Germany as well. And I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of that. Gives it a little bit of a fruity flavor. And I'm gonna add this from McCormick. This is rum extract. I really like the taste of the rum extract that gives it to the cake. Also, I'm gonna do half a teaspoon. Not too much, not too little. Close this up. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna be adding the dry ingredients, which is mostly our flour and our milk, alternating it. So we are gonna start with the flour. We're gonna probably do it in 2 or 3 steps. It really kind of like doesn't have to be precisely, as long as you kind of do it not all at once. We do it in steps. So first you're gonna add a little bit of flour, about this much. Then you mix it. Completely gone. Then you're gonna add the milk, not all of it, about half, like this. You keep mixing it, and then you're gonna add the rest of your flour, or not all of it actually, I'm sorry, about this much, because it's very important that you start with the flour and you end with the flour. So now that we have the second then you're gonna add the rest of your milk, like this, and to end with the flour, put the rest of the flour that you have into your dough, like this. And now you just have to mix it all together. Make sure you cannot see any more flour. This might take about another minute. Mixed, but also you don't want to overmix it either. Sometimes when you overmix, the texture of the cake will come out very differently. It will come out dense, not fluffy. So it actually is very important not to overmix. So about like this. I cannot see any more flour. I made sure I scraped the sides, and it's looking good. Say it gave it a good flavor. So now we're gonna get our dough and delicious. So as you can see, our mold is right here. We're just gonna do the best we can. Cake out. Sure you scrape the sides. Spoon it out. Sometimes you want to put it in there perfectly, but it really won't matter. When it's in the oven, it's gonna bake evenly. important thing was that my pancake mold was already pre-greased. With I usually like to use the butter sprays. They sell some in Dollar Tree, Walmart. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Or you can just, if you have butter at home, put some butter on your paper towel and just spread it all over the mold. That works too. But sometimes it's less messy if you use the spray. It's just quicker and easier. Whatever you prefer and whatever works best for you. So, about now, this is already all of the cake. Now we just kind of spread it whatever we can here. And this is about good. So now comes another important step. Put it in the oven. So as you can see, my temperature is at 325, and I'm gonna put my cake in there now, and I'm gonna put it on the middle rack, in the middle, not at the bottom or on top. That's very important. So the cake, if you put it at the bottom, it will bake it from underneath, but the top won't have that nice crust. And if you put it on the top, it's probably gonna like get brown very fast on the top, but it won't bake right. So it's important that you have it on the middle rack. Then you close it, and it's gonna at least take an hour and 10 minutes, sometimes an hour and 20. I recommend you put your timer for 1 hour and 10 minutes, and then you kind of just start checking. Hopefully you'll be done by 1 hour and 10 minutes. If it's not, just add 10 more minutes and it should be done. So as you can see, 1 hour and 10 minutes start. And that's really much everything you do. And hopefully the cake will be delicious. At the end of this video, I'm gonna show you guys a picture of what the cake looked like when it came out of the oven. But for now, we'll be done and we can just wait for the cake. So don't forget to like and subscribe, or else. Alright, now it's time. The 1 hour and 10 minutes are done. I already checked the cake and it is ready. Just be careful. Always wear your oven mittens to take out the cake. It's extremely hot. So as you can see, this is what a traditional, moist, crumbly, and buttery pound cake looks like. Right now it's hot, so I'm gonna leave it right over here, and you're gonna have to give it at least 30 minutes to an hour to let it just cool down. That way you're gonna be able to take it out of the mold. So let's just wait for a little bit. So here, as you can see, I just took out the pound cake. It came out smoothly, nothing broke, and I just put it on the container. And yeah, it's still a little bit warm, but I recommend definitely to wait until it's all the way cooled down to take it out, so that way you don't risk it from breaking. And I hope you like this recipe, and it tastes good for you. And also in some other pictures and little videos, I'm going to show you some more cakes that I have done in the past.